Hello, researchers. My name is Malcolm Shambana, and today I have a topic under research methods. Of course, this is due to popular demand for me to address the issue of research questionnaires. Um, Most of the people who wrote to me say they had a challenge with coming up with a research questionnaire. But don't worry, as usual, just sit back, relax, enjoy whatever you're doing, enjoy your drink as I walk you through this research topic under research questionnaire. We are going to look at how we are going to formulate a research questionnaire according to your research topic or your research question. Enjoy. Thank you. So my name is Malcolm Shambana. My number is 0977 That's a Zambian number. Um, you can actually reach me if you include the Zambian code. Sorry, this is, I didn't include the Zambian code. It's supposed to read +260, then 977 488 442. You can as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Already there are quite a number of videos regarding research methodology, research methods. You can visit the video, subscribe so that you can be getting notifications whenever I create a new video. Also like the videos so that even your colleagues know that there is such a video, such an educative video regarding research methods. Thank you. So today we only have two learning objectives, but they are quite intensive. Not really intensive as difficult, but they are quite involving. Or you need to pay attention, if I could put it that way. So at the end of this lesson, you need to explain the use of the questionnaire. You need also to explain and understand the contents of a research questionnaire. So, a research questionnaire is a schedule of questions or items used to gather data from respondents about their attitude, experience, or opinion. So it's a research tool for gathering information, be it qualitative or quantitative. So a questionnaire is usually used when you are doing your social science rather than your natural science, where you in natural science maybe you would rather do experiments, but in social science you would rather interact with people and for you to get their opinion or for you to get numbers, be it in quantitative or getting their views being qualitative. So it's a tool, very important tool, and a common tool used in your research. It is very rare that unless you are doing maybe maybe an experiment or natural science. But even in natural science, there are times when you may use a questionnaire, but it's not common, where you need to maybe to get medical views about maybe how people are feeling, maybe a natural feeling. Maybe you may need to use a questionnaire. But in this case, we'll concentrate on the use of a questionnaire in social science. So a questionnaire may be written, verbal. You may decide to call a person or respondent over the phone. There are several ways in which a questionnaire may be administered, but doesn't necessarily mean that the researcher is the one who's supposed to always administer the questionnaire. He may assign other people. So the key thing is, what are the contents of the questionnaire? So today we are going to look at a practical example. I've gotten my sample of research I did. and I'll explain the contents on how and why those items are there. So mainly a research question, the key thing is that it has to match, a research questionnaire has to match your research questions. It is a form in which now you are going to break down your specific research questions and ask the respondents or participants to give you feedback within your research. So the example is as follows. I'm going to share a page or the actual questionnaire which I used in one of my research projects. So I have here a questionnaire which I use in one of my research, but note that I've included, please note that I've included the research questions. This is just for illustration purpose. Otherwise, the research questions are not supposed to appear in your research questionnaire. This is just to help you understand the structure of the research questionnaire. So basically, the research questionnaire is made up of your research questions, but it has other contents. So we begin with the first part. It introduces itself, which like gives guidance. It has to give guidance to the participants. Mention the conditions. For example, here we have written that participation in this study is voluntary and participants may enjoy on their own will, free will. May join, sorry, on their free will. Participants also have a right to withdraw from the study at any time without penalty. Participants are free to skip questions they may deem personal without penalty. So in this first part where you are giving conditions, it's an ethical requirement that you know that the participants have to have that right. Participants can join at their own free will, or may skip questions, or may withdraw from the study. It's one of the conditions, and the conditions which you give, they have to be ethical, giving the rights of the participants. So the first part of your research question may be background information. For example, in my case, I was studying the impact of quality management, which has been abbreviated as QM, on wood and steel processing industry in Zambia. That's the study. And then the main research question was, does quality management have an impact on the wood and steel industry in Zambia? That's the main question. Then the sub questions were, does quality management have an impact on productivity of the wood and steel industry in Zambia? Question 1. Question 2, does quality management have an impact on profitability of the wood and steel industry in Zambia? Then the last question, does quality management have an impact on the competitiveness of the wood and steel industry in Zambia? So our study variables in this case was quality management and productivity, quality management and profitability, quality management and competitiveness. In this case, quality management being the independent variable and productivity being the dependent variable. profitability being the dependent variable, competitiveness also being the dependent variables. So the first part, I won't discuss my research question. I'll gather information about the respondents, the demographics. This is the information which goes in your demographics, your descriptive statistics. So I'll look at the background of the company by knowing the name, the address, the position of the respondent at the company, year of operation in Zambia, all the information that will be necessary for my research. Number of employees, and so on. So I'll move now to this part where this is also still demographics, but it's now discussing maybe the type. Is the company involved in wood, or is the company involved in steel, or the company is both involved in both wood and steel? It's all demographics. Then part 2 of my research question discusses the independent variable, which is quality management. It searches if at all that dependent variable information, if at all that dependent variable is maybe being practiced, for example, quality management, if it was being practiced in this organization which I'm examining. So the second part discusses or investigates the independent variable, which is quality management. So those questions are related to the independent variable, where I was inquiring on if there is a quality management in those organizations, if there is a quality policy in those organizations, if the organization is ISO certified, or if there is somebody responsible for quality management. So the second part of the questionnaire was about the independent variable. I wanted to find out information on the independent variable. And these are the details. That's an domino scale where where I was ranking the responses. Some call it a Rickert scale. All this part is trying to investigate quality management, the strength of quality management as the independent variable. And don't forget, always give instructions on each part of the questionnaire. So we are going now to so these are details of the independent variable. It was all about the independent. I was inquiring all about the independent variable. I looked also at the controls of the independent variable. I was trying to gather strength of the independent variable. So up to this point, then we go to part 3. Part 3, which is, if I had to take you back to the first part, to our research questions, part 3 is discussing productivity as a dependent variable of quality management. So part 3 is answering the first question. So this question, the specific question from your introduction of your research, is the one which now this part is answering. One of the specific question. The specific question also has breakdown of those questions. It can't have one response. I'm going back to part 3. There we have part 3. So it gives the instruction on how a person is supposed to respond on part, and that's part 3. So we looked at product 1, now type of products, definitely, output, input, productivity. So part 3 answered the question on the first variable, in the first dependent variable, which is productivity. Part 4 answers the second question on the dependent variable, which is profitability. The first one is productivity as independent variable. The second one is profitability. The third one is competitiveness. So your research question is actually supposed to have headings besides your demographics. From demographic, which is your introduction, is supposed to have a heading on the discussing the questioning the independent variable, which is quality management in my case. Then the other headings are supposed to discuss other independent variables. So we are going to have headings according to specific research questions. So the first heading would discuss first the independent variable. The second heading would discuss the first dependent variable. The second heading would discuss the second dependent variable, and the last question would discuss the last dependent variable. So your research question is just supposed to have an introduction, then question the independent variable, then question the dependent variables in those specific headings. If you have got 10 specific research questions, I expect you to have 11 headings after the introduction. One discussing the independent variable, and the rest of the 10 discussing the dependent variable. So your questionnaire is about your research questions. The foundation of your questionnaire is your specific research questions. If you have any questions, please feel free. You can still write to me. I had so many questions on the formulation of your question, of the research questionnaire, and this is simple. It's just if you have research questions and you also have a background, you also need the background of the person responding. Then you have done your research question. You have formulated your research questionnaire rather. So thank you for listening to this session. Please get a hold of me. You can write on my group, my YouTube page or YouTube channel if you have any question regarding research questionnaire. Thank you. God bless you.